Welcome to Knights of the Roundtable Special Edition. We are deep in a missile bunker somewhere in Richmond, Indiana, to stay away from the paparazzi who have been following us, well, for the past 2 or 3 weeks.
All right, so I didn't notice any paparazzi, but they could be around. They're like the FBI. They get around the corners, they sneak up on you. They just want to get that interview or that picture. That's exactly what's happening. I think we're going to be safe, though, Jerry.
Well, the picture's what they usually want from me, and you can see why.
Well, Knights, old guys production is
That's
in
right.
full form right now. So we want to thank Aaron and Misty Coalfield. That's Misty is Raiden Faust's mom. They've allowed us to come into their home. This is the draw party. This is the sectional draw party, kind of what we've been waiting for, for a while. This is an exciting time. So we're going to be here. If you happen to watch the girls' sectional draw party, similar format as the girls. So that's what we're going to do. And we're looking forward to it, Jerry. Should be a good time. We got an 8-team sectional.
Yep.
So that's a big sectional.
That's
a full sectional.
And speaking of 8 teams, we will be broadcasting every game. 2 Old Guy Productions have secured the rights to broadcast all 7 games.
Well, I got to tell you a little story before we get going. Yesterday, our executive producer, none other than Steve Luby, him and I went to Hagerstown to meet with Braden, the Hagerstown IT guy, and I was thinking we were going to have to do some supernatural, cybersecurity testing that I never understood. We're going to have to bounce it off the satellites. So we went there, and all we had to do was turn it on, and it worked. So it was very simple.
Well, this is what we like.
So we're ready to go technology-wise. I want to thank you donors. We've had people who had to donate, and this has been great. You guys stepped up big. And Knights Nation, you ought to be proud of yourselves because it was not a problem collecting that money, and I really appreciate it. We got enough for sectionals. We'll see what goes on in regionals.
Yes.
Of course, we'd like to go on. It's going to require more money, but hey, one step at a time.
Well, stick around. We'll be talking to all the players and getting their predictions of who they'd like to play, or better yet, we're going to let you know who they will be playing right after that draw happens. So we'll be back in just a few minutes after our words, after our fine sponsor of Knights of the Round Table, Farm Bureau Insurance, especially Corey Baker and Brian Maurer, agents. We'll be right back after this message.
You care about. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome back to Knights of the Round Table, and thank you, Farm Bureau Insurance, for your continued support. Joining us now is Michael Henry, as I affectionately call him, the Red Rider, for his great shooting ability.
And if we're not careful, he's going to hit a 3 right from here.
He might. And also with us is Mr. Hunt.
Well, Wes is another guy who can hit a 3. So we got the 2 shooters here first, Jerry.
So, guys, thanks for joining us today in the bunker.
Yes, sir.
So, sections are coming up, fellas. What's your feeling? I'll start with you, Wes. I mean, is there an excitement in the air? You guys have had a great season, but now it's about to get serious here. So, tell me what your thoughts are.
I'm thrilled for it. It's the best time of the year. The atmosphere is great, and we've been working really hard for it.
So I saw you playing a little point guard here lately. Is that a change of role for you? Or, I mean, to me it seemed like a change of role. So a little bit of a change of role.
Yeah, it was different, but I liked it, and it was good testing it.
Yeah, so we'll see if Coach Ross has you doing that going into sectionals. The thing is, Jerry, and I'll point this out to everybody who's watching, is if there's 10 guys on the bench, there's going to be 10 guys playing.
Yeah.
Everybody plays, and they play a lot. So, Mike Henry, welcome to the party here, man. So this is your first year at Northeastern. You're a sophomore. You started out full-time JV. Now you're kind of going half and half. So what's that transition been like for you?
It's been pretty easy. It's the hardest thing is the the pace of the game, but I'm adapting.
Yeah, and defense. If you're going to play for Coach Ross, you got to play defense, all right? And we've got a tremendous defensive team, and I've noticed you've stepped that up in the last few games that you've been in there. It's been kind of a concentration piece for you, concentrating on your defense.
Yeah.
Should we talk about three-point shots, Jerry?
Well, we might as well just bring that up. The other night at Lincoln, we were going to have you up as our player of the game, the Reese Cup player of the game. But dang gone if Harmon doesn't put 20 on the board that night and sort of drowned out your 5 threes, which was you hit 4 of them in like a 3-minute span and took the game from a 12-point game up to a 30-point ball game just like a snap of a finger. It's amazing, what the 3-point shot will do. I mean, Wes, the same thing. You come out and hit a couple, bam, bam. I mean, it's a big difference from 6 points. It's a huge difference.
Yeah, and all of a sudden we're looking at 15-point deficit.
So were you feeling it against Lincoln when you hit your 5 threes? Because I know the student body they were feeling it.
After I hit the first 2, I was feeling good.
And that's as a 3-point shooter, and that's what both of you guys do. You got to get in a rhythm. Is that what it is? So you've been working your way up there into the varsity squad. Against Winchester, much tighter game, you also came in and hit a couple of threes. So it wasn't just, we're up by 20, let's put West in. You come in at the key points of the game. I mean, Mike Henry and, they're putting you in at key points of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when the cheer block erupts, and our cheer block has been tremendous, okay? So when the cheer block erupts, what does that do?
I try to block it out the best I can, but like when I notice when they cheer, when I hit those threes, I can tell they're going crazy.
I can tell you the 2 old guys in the broadcast booth don't block it out. we play it up. So it's been great this year, and it's been a lot of fun.
Wes, I've noticed here as of late that defensively your game has picked up a bunch, especially cutting off the drives from the wings and stuff like that, getting more active into the passing lanes, a lot more deflections and so forth. Has that been something that Coach Ross has been instituting into you to get you more involved into that?
Yeah, he always tells me that my defense needs to get better, and he was very hard on me last year. But that's just our whole team's motto: is we work very hard on defense, and it pays off for us.
Well, and it does. I mean, when you're looking at holding teams to 20 points,
yeah,
and like Winchester, what was that, 34
or 41
something
points.
like that. I mean, you hold teams to under 40 points, you're gonna win a lot of ball games in high school basketball. So. Anything else, Rick?
I think we're good. I appreciate you guys being here. You're only sophomores, so you're going to be back down here again, and you'll be up in the booth getting those Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I'm sure both of you will find your spot up there. So I want to thank you. Good luck in the sectional. We actually got a couple more games left in the regular season, but good luck there. Playing for the TEC Championship on Friday night. We'll have that game on our broadcasting network, and we'll be looking forward to the future, basically.
Thank you.
Well, we'd like to thank Wes Hunt and Michael Henry for stopping in on the pregame show, or the pre-draw show, I should say. And we'll be back to Knights of the Roundtable after these words from our sponsor, Farm Bureau Insurance.
Things you care about. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome back to Knights of the Roundtable, and joining us now is Mr. Harmon, Mr. Luby, and Mr. Scoretti. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us down here in the bunker.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
So I want to welcome you guys. Caleb, I guess you're on the other end. I'll start with you. How fun has this season been?
It's been awesome. It's a great group of friends to play basketball with. So,
all right.
Hopefully, make a little state run.
So you had a game the other night against Lincoln, 20 points. All of a sudden, here comes Caleb Harmon. Okay. So tell us about your thoughts on that game, and 20 points. That was your best game of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good game for all of us, but, you're going to need 9 people to go win a state championship, so.
And that we've mentioned this before, Brent Ross will play 9 and now 10, it looks like, coming in off the bench. And he wants no drop-off in the intensity and the defense. Defense is a key. Well, that's been the key all year. But, Grant, our perimeter shooting, has picked up since the beginning of the year. And you've been a part of that, in a lot of those games you've been a part of that. But I want to talk about your defense. Every time there's a scorer on the other team, you're the guy that gets out there, and you're on him. So tell us what goes into that preparation.
I think it's a lot of a mental thing, and you just got to know that in your mind that no one's going to score on you, and that even if they do get by you, I have 4 other teammates out there that are going to help me stop them.
Yeah, so defense leads to offense. We've said that a lot over the years.
And people don't realize, I don't think, they look at, points on the board, but someone that plays defense against someone who's averaging 25 points a game and they only let them have 8 points, that's like a 17 points on the board for us.
Absolutely.
I mean, they don't realize that how much that defense plays into the less points you got to score to win the ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Grant has been the guy. We're going to pump you up a little bit here, Grant, okay? Because you've been the guy that's been on like the Tay Davis from Warren Central, Tyler Wiles, who can shoot it, shoot the lights out at times at Lincoln. And going forward, we're going to have some other shooters that you're probably going to be on.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Carson, you come off the bench and you're a sharpshooter. That's your game. Also, defense. I've noticed that your defense has picked up this year. What's gone into that as far as picking up that intensity?
Oh, well, that's what we set out at the beginning of the year, is to get my defense better, and it's getting there. We're going to work on it every day now. So.
Yeah, but you've been playing varsity. You're not JV anymore. You've been playing varsity. Like I said, you're one of the least of 9, and now with Michael Henry, it looks like we got 10. That appears to be that way. So, but you can shoot the 3 every once in a while. You line it up. Every time I see you, you're always thinking about it. Is that true? Because that's your game.
Definitely hit big shots when it matters.
All right, so I got to mention your younger brother because he's becoming my favorite player. So I'm just going to make a mention. You guys get along? Okay, you do. So maybe next year you might play on the court together a little bit. Let's hope we'll see that happen.
Well, another thing is we talked about. Last week was a hectic week. We had games Tuesday, Friday, Saturday that one week, which is basically the same as what the sectional is. In playing those games, does that prepare you mentally for the grind it's going to have on a Tuesday, Friday, Saturday games? Especially 3 conference games in a row too, right there. Does that prepare you for that, or is it just 3 more ball games?
Yeah, definitely. Coach actually, he called it the conference tournament and told us that to win a state championship, we're going to have to do that, and we're going to have to play multiple games in a week to win a championship.
Do you guys talk about winning a state championship as that ultimate goal?
Yeah.
A lot of competition out there. First one's going to be, obviously, we got Eastern Hancock and Shenandoah in the sectional. Caleb, do you guys, amongst yourselves or with the coaches, talk about that step toward going from a good team to a great team?
Yeah, that's Mauer's favorite quote, is good and great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we got goals up on the board, and state championships, the ultimate one at the bottom.
Yeah, okay. Well, TEC's the next goal, right? To win that outright. That'll be Friday night, and then we can move on to sectionals.
Let's face it, the real goal is to win the Reese Cup.
Yeah.
Player of the game. That's the real goal.
I
Cup.
think what these guys are doing is they've kept their Reese's Cups and they're comparing who's won the most.
Just a second. I got to tell you a real quick story. Apparently, there was a girl who'd won the Reese Cup, and she was so proud of it that she had it displayed with her other trophies on her up on her dresser in her bedroom.
Wow.
And she didn't eat it. So the other day, I told her, I said, is this true? She goes, well, yes, sort of. The other day I woke up and I ate it.
Well, let me ask you guys. Let me ask you, Carson and Grant, you've won a couple and you've one. And Carson, we're expecting you, okay? No pressure, all right? But is that a big thing to you guys? You know, Grant, is that big to win that Reese's Cup?
Yeah, definitely. It's good to be recognized as playing one of the greater games and then also enjoying a snack after the game.
Caleb, you guys like to come up to our booth and have us, you know, two old guys, you know, chat with you about the game and that?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, it's
fun?
pretty cool.
Yeah, I notice everybody points up at the booth when you guys come up, so well, we're glad we'd be a
Notice
small part
our
of it.
student body, when he was scoring those points, they're yelling every time he scored. You go, Reese's, Reese's. I'm like, okay, we're getting the hint here. But yeah, it's fun. We've enjoyed this season. It's been a fun season.
It's been great.
And what really my biggest thing I love is we get into that full court defense. And how quick the game will go from a 2-point game to a 10-point game, just like that. To me, that's the big deal. And then we get into that half court. We've got foul step high, long arms out there, and then the other four are just playing their flipping butts off down there.
Well, the other thing is, and you guys can be part of all this, and you have been, is we got a lot of scoring options now.
Oh, yes.
You know, we're not just a one-man show. Got a lot of scoring options, and it can be a different player every night, and you guys are all a part of that. So, hey, good luck, man. We're waiting for the draw. We don't know who we're playing yet, but we will hear probably in about 30 minutes, so we'll be looking forward to that. I heard they have pizza upstairs. Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
That sounds good. Well, we're going to take a quick break here and find out what's going on with Farm Bureau Insurance, and we'll be back right after these words.
For all the things you care about. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome back to Knights of the Roundtable, and joining us right now is Mr. Mikesell and Mr. Terrell. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Guys, welcome. I want to ask first, Carson, I'm going to go to you. How fun has this season been?
Oh, it's been fun.
Yeah, you guys have really played a lot of good ball together.
Yeah.
So, Keaton, how about you? Has this been a fun season?
Sure has.
Yeah. So what are our goals right now? What are we looking to do? I mean, you think dream big. I mean, you don't want to look too far ahead. You know, we got sectionals coming up. That's why we're here. So, Keaton, what do you guys talk about when you're in the room back there, you know, watching the draw here? What are you guys talking about for down the road for this team?
I mean, we're just talking about, you know, looking at different teams and how we kind of want it, and just take it one game at a time.
Well, we
hope
got
for the best.
We got a couple of games coming up this week. One a big game against Connorsville, and then a real big game against Union City. You know, hopefully we'll win that to the outright title.
Yep.
So, Carson, so you're scoring. All right, that's well. I got to refer to the trucking incident. We'll just touch on that, of course. When you took Peyton out, it was a beautiful thing. That's the play of the year in my estimation, okay?
That might make our all-star play of the year.
That's number one.
That's number one.
But you're another scoring option. It's all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, you've had games, but consistently you're starting to put those games together.
Yeah.
So what's going into that? What's brought that
I'd say
up?
it's more mentality.
Yeah?
At the start of the year, I was scared to go in through contact,
Yeah.
and now I am going through contact now, being more successful scoring.
Yeah, so it looks like what you're trying to do is instead of avoiding contact, you're
Yeah.
going into contact. Jerry and we talk about this a lot when we were doing the broadcast. You're going into contact. The worst thing that happens is you're going to get fouled, okay? And it might be a 3-point play. So that appears to be a goal. Is that something you consciously think about, or is that just
Yes, that
happening
definitely is
naturally
it.
now?
Yeah.
Keaton, defense, man. If we're going to talk about defense, this is a defensive team.
Yeah.
All right, that's defense number one, and our scoring is really starting to improve, and shooting is starting to improve. But you talk about defense, we got to talk about Keaton Mikesell and that tremendous defense. So what's the mentality?
I mean, I'm just better than the other person, try and keep them where I want them, force them where I want them to go.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how big they are or small they are, you're the man, okay? I mean, you looks like you go out there with that tenacity on defense. Is that take a certain mindset that you come into the game with?
I mean, yeah, you got to train your mind that nobody's getting around you and do your best and not let it happen. And I try my best.
Yeah, we're always seeing you dive into the third row, fourth row, and you really pick that defense, setting the tone for defense. So,
Well, and you touched on this, but I really feel at the start of the year, our defense was here. And now the offense is getting to here, and the whole thing is just gelling together now.
yeah, that's
All aspects of the game is gelling together. Is that what are you guys feeling that?
Yes, it's definitely coming together.
Starting to come together, play as a team, and things are just...
And the other thing that gets me now is I think earlier in the year we'd have a mistake made or something, and everybody it seemed like we didn't dwell on it, but like it affected us. Now there's a mistake, maybe a pass goes out of bounds, like, oh well, let's get the next one. Is that our attitude that we're having now? That we don't dwell on things?
We try not to focus on one area. We go to the next play, and hopefully it will come out more successful.
Well, that appears to be happening. I do want to mention a stat the other night, to talk about defense against Winchester. 9 turnovers for the Knights. That's a tremendous 24 for Winchester.
Oh, wow.
That's a big number. You're doing, and a lot of that's the Mike Sells of the world and, other guys too. And you too, Carson, you're a defensive presence inside. We'll just get Peyton out here. We'll ask him about that. So, you guys, all right, sectionals are coming. Keaton, what's our thoughts going into sectionals? What do we got, there's going to be some tough games in there.
Yeah, for sure. Take it one game at a time, hopefully keep on going as far as we can. And I think we got a pretty good chance.
All right. And Carson, what your thoughts on sectionals?
I'd say the same thing as him.
Is there a team that we'd like to see in the first round, or it doesn't matter? You're going to have to win 3 games, right?
Yeah.
Is that the mentality, you guys? So whether you play Easton Hancock in the first game or whoever isn't going to matter. So you got Easton Hancock's going to be a tough team. We've seen them already.
Yeah.
Shenandoah is starting to play better, and they're the defending champions, so that could be a tough game. So, and the other teams, we've seen them all. So we've actually seen every team in the sectional. So it gives you confidence to do that. So.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thanks for sitting down with us and chatting down here in the bunker in our missile silo deep below the ground in Richmond. We'll be back after these messages from Farm Bureau Insurance on Knights of the Roundtable.
For all the things you care about. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome back to Knights of the Roundtable. And now it's senior time.
Senior night is here.
Senior night's here. We got Mr. Faust and Mr. Lumpkin and Mr. Deitch. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
You're welcome.
So we've had, this is old hat for you guys. We've talked to all of you quite a bit over the years, and so this is a real easy thing. Ben, I'm going to start with you. Did you know you had 15 assists against Lincoln? Did anybody tell you that?
I did. I had 14 when I was on the bench, and I was like, Coach, that's like my record. Like, I had 14 my sophomore year, and he was like, all right, and he put me back in so I could beat it.
So your game is defense, and you're the general out there. Mm-hmm. When you're out there, you're the point guard. You give up a little in scoring, although you can score, right? But this year, we've had a lot of scoring options develop here, especially. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it makes my job easy. All I have to do is take care of the ball and get it to people in the right spot, and they'll score for me.
Yeah. So, Peyton, I mentioned to Carson a little bit about the trucking incident again, so I just want to – that's our number 1 play of the year, just so you guys know. So you've developed, Peyton, or you actually have been a scoring option here. You could score anywhere between 8 and 20 points, and we've seen that from you. But underneath, you're a beast to be held. Talk about your defense, especially underneath the basket.
I mean, well, we have Raiden here, so he's guarding the other guy. So I'm guarding the guy that's probably the bigger on the other team. So I have to just get around him and have Raiden on the help side, and that's about it.
Yeah, you've developed that nice little spin move. You get the guy in the air, and you just need the layup to go down is all that needs to happen, and it could be unstoppable. Raiden, we notice you're out front on defense a lot. Playing, using those long arms to create havoc. Has that been a recent change? Tell us about what goes into that.
It just depends what defense we're playing, or based on matchups too. If I'm guarding a big or a wing.
Yeah.
Just basically based on matchups.
Everything is different. Every game is different. You got a different game plan for every team. Is that how it works?
Yeah, pretty much.
So I noticed you've been very aggressive going to the basket. Is that part of your game plan? Because you can shoot from outside, but it seems like you've done that a lot less this year, more inside play. Is that your coaches are asking you to do that? Or?
Yeah, and need to draw some fouls, get to the free throw line more. Just get easy buckets there.
Jerry, you've said that all year, haven't you? So,
said it all year.
And here it is. Right?
And here it is. It's just backing up what I say.
Yeah.
Which is usually correct. But, the other thing, I saw Ben the other day at El Rodeo. and I told him, I said, from the Winchester game, my big takeaway was that the defense backed away from him. It opened the lane, and he went to the basket, full board. Then I saw the defender sliding over, and I said to myself, this is going to be a collision of epic proportions. And it was. And they call a blocking foul, a good bucket. We go to the line, shoot one, hit the free throw, 3-point play, let's move on. And I think those little plays like that is what keeps the defense honest on the other team.
Well, our free throw shooting has actually been very good this year, especially second half of the year. And we're going to need to continue that, especially if you're going to go to the line, you got to hit the free throws. Ben, I got a question. I noticed I've watched you now for 4 years, okay? You were actually on the last team that went to the regionals. All three of you guys were freshmen then, but you got to play quite a bit in that game. So now here you are a senior, but I noticed that you like to carry on a conversation with some of the other players out there.
Yeah.
What, is that on? What do you talk about? What are you you going to McDonald's after the game, or what do you guys chat about? And it looks friendly. Okay,
Yeah,
it looks friendly.
It depends on who the other player is. The Winchester game with Brooks Burleson, I've been friends with him. We played Little League baseball together,
Right.
so with him it's always friendly. It depends. I'm usually trying to be a nice guy, but sometimes being a nice guy doesn't work out.
All right, so keep that. We'll see more of that. It's hard. We can't read lips because we're a little far away, so we notice that it's mostly friendly, but sometimes it can get heated.
Larry Bird
Trash talk.
was not trash talk. He was in-depth conversation with people. No, but
if you ask Magic Johnson, he'll say trash talk.
but the thing with Bird on that, you talk about talking to players and so forth, is that Cliff Levingston, who played for the Bulls, and he coaches in the league I referee in, and he was telling me a story that Bird told him that I want to cut here, and I want to be open for a shot over there, and Cliff's like, there's no way. He says, pretty soon there's some back screens and so forth. I look over there, and there's Bird in the corner.
And he already told the guy what he's doing.
And so he says, I take off to block the shot, and Bird fakes it, hits me on the butt with the ball as I go by, looks at me, shoots it, and says, too late, and drains a three.
So you guys see what we're looking for, right? Something like that. That'd be a nice...
That'd be fun. And Ben's the man that can do that.
All right, so sectionals are right around the corner. The season's not over. We got a good test against Carnersville coming up, Raiden. So finishing up the season, what are we looking to achieve? Obviously, we want to have that outright title for the TEC.
Well, yeah, definitely conference champions and see what we can do in sectionals and so on.
Yeah. How about you, Peyton? What are your thoughts on the rest of the season moving into sectionals?
I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
So do you guys talk, gee, state championship? Do you look that far ahead, or is it the next game, the next series, the next sectionals, or what has it been?
I mean, the whole season, I mean, the goal is conference, then the state tournament, and the goal is always to get to state, but, I mean, we all got to focus one game at a time. If you look ahead, you can get upset by somebody.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I've seen upsets happen in the state tournament. You know, I mean, it happens. And that's because, overconfidence, and you look someplace else instead of looking at that team, and those things do happen.
So I'm going to let the cat out of the bag a little bit if you don't. I haven't told Jerry this, but already I know who is getting the Reese's Cups for next Friday night's game. It's going to be all three of you guys, okay? So get ready to come up. I'll have 3 Reese's Cups, and we're going to chat with you because it's going to be senior night. I mean, you guys are seniors now. I mean, what, Peyton, you're a senior now. What is that? How does that, tell me about that.
I mean, it's exciting. Carter's was last year, and mine's this year, so,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready to go in the state state tournament and beat someone.
See a little lumpkin come back.
Yeah. See a little.
Well, when we finish up, we'll do the same thing we did with the girls. Now, Raiden, we know that you're going to go to IU East and play basketball. And what's your undecided?
Yeah.
I tell you what, I hear a lot of people get good grades with undecided.
Yeah.
And that's a great class to take.
It's probably a smart move, to be honest.
Yeah.
You don't know. You're only 18 years old.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to do, so that's probably not a bad move.
Mr. Lumpkin, what about you?
Going to Ball State to major in wildlife conservation.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
He already knows he wants to be a park ranger or something like that.
Yep.
So,
that's
do you fish and hunt and do those
Yeah.
things? Okay, so that makes sense.
well, that's neat. Mr. Deitch?
I'm going to be going to Xavier in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm also undecided on what I want to do.
Well, you guys will get good grades in, I'm sure.
That's a good school.
Xavier's a fun
That's an
place. I
excellent-
like Xavier's.
Now your brother
campus.
goes to Xavier, is that right?
Yeah,
All right.
he'll be a senior next year.
All right. Well, good luck to all 3 of you guys. And hey, we're looking forward to the sectionals, and hopefully we'll kind of carry you right on through to as far as we can go. That's what we want to see.
And hopefully we'll be broadcasting the games as far as they can go.
We'll see what happens. We fly by the seat of our pants.
2 Old Guys Productions. So don't get any better than that. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. And it's been a wonderful season. It's been a fun season. You guys have worked really hard, and I know the Northeastern community, or the Night Nation, as we refer to them now, really appreciate what you guys have done, and and the effort that you've put into things over the years. So we appreciate that. So we'll be back with who are the Knights going to play. We'll find out in just a little bit on the not Nightline, but Knights of the Roundtable. There's a blooper.
We're going to keep this blooper in, though, Jim.
We're going to keep this blooper in, and we'll be right back after Farm Bureau Insurance.
For all the things you care about. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome back to Knights of the Roundtable, and the draw has just happened just like 5 minutes ago. And on the phone, on the line with us, this is big. We've got Coach Ross on the line with us. Coach, glad you could join us.
Appreciate it.
So you guys are holed up somewhere in an undisclosed location, Brent. Is that what's going on? I'm assuming
Yeah,
you.
we have.
I'm assuming.
Our whole coaching staff is here right now, and we're putting together our game plan.
So tell us your thoughts, your initial thoughts. You saw the draw that Northeastern's got Shenandoah. So tell us your thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, that's who we're going to focus on. The big thing with the draw, with 8 teams without a bye, you're just focusing on who you play. And I wanted the Tuesday night just to give an extra night when we win that first game. So, that's kind of how the draw went. You got to win 3 games, and so we're going to focus on Shenandoah.
Well, I thought it was very interesting that Eastern Hancock is in the opposite, in the lower bracket. So that means if everybody wins out, obviously you two would meet in the championship, which ought to be one heck of a game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we played them so early in the year. We played them on their home floor. I feel like, Hagerstown's like our home floor, and, I think we're better defensively than what we were early in the year, and then definitely offensively, we're clicking better. But like I said, I don't even want to in my players' heads. I don't even want them thinking about anything but one game, because it's one game at a time. And, who knows who will play the second game and the third game. I mean, we've got to get by a very well-coached Shenandoah team the first game. And, I think they'll be well prepared and they'll be ready as well. We will be too. And so that's our number one focus.
And I think in that lower bracket, when you're talking about teams that could pull upsets off, I mean, obviously you have Lincoln could be playing Eastern Hancock there on the second game of Friday night. So that could be one that could be a troublemaker, one of those ones you sit back at, that could be an upset possibly.
Well, I think any night you get in a tournament, Jerry, you've reffed long enough in these big games that, there's a lot of pressure. It's different when you get in those tournament atmospheres. That's why you try to play as many of those kind of games throughout the year that you can, and that's why we don't ever want to dissolve the county tourney, because you guys were there this year. The sound, the roar, it's just different when it's a tournament atmosphere. So I think we definitely want to we want to focus on that first game. And, on that bottom bracket, you got Lincoln playing Centerville first game. They play Friday night, this Friday, before the sectional, and then they're going to turn around and play each other 3 days later. So, that's happened to them several times. So I don't think, anybody's going to be looking ahead.
Hey, Brent, let me ask you, so the sectional is back in its traditional place at Hagerstown. Does that mean anything to you guys? Are we happy about that?
Yeah, I don't know why it's ever changed. I don't know how Shenandoah got it to get moved to Shenandoah, but it's been at Hagerstown ever since day one of class basketball. I think it's the best facility. Hagerstown's never won it, so it's not like that, the host schools had an advantage, having it there. So I think it's the best place. It's in the middle. Our girls sectional was at Shenandoah, and a team had to drive an hour and 25 minutes, and another team drive 50 minutes to play in a championship game, which is very hard on a Tuesday night because of weather. It's hard to get everybody's fans from those two schools at those places. So, I think Hagerstown's in the middle. I think it's the right place to have it.
Well, I think it'd be a major contingency of fans for these 4 nights of basketball at Hagerstown. It ought to be just action-packed and a lot of people there, and it's going to be loud.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, this is the time of year I think everybody, players, coaches, fans, look forward to. That's why everybody's watching this, the drawing show right now.
Well, and speaking of watching, we'll be broadcasting every game of the sectional this year on the Two Old Guys Productions.
Oh, that is awesome. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. We announced it today.
Yeah, just to let you know, the Knights Nation family stepped up big because we had to raise $700 just to do that, and we did it in about 3 days. And everybody stepped up, and it's awesome. So, kudos to them, Brent.
Yeah, definitely. We want to definitely thank our fan base. We want to thank you guys for what you guys have done all year on every sport. I mean, I think it's been great.
Well, we appreciate it, and Coach Ross, thanks for joining us today, and good luck next week.
All righty, appreciate it. And make sure, I know you're with the team, make sure that they're behaving. Tell them they got to be in bed by 8 and eat right. Drink their fluids.
Well, right now they're eating Pizza King and misbehaving. Other than that, they're doing great.
Tell them to be ready to run tomorrow.
I will. All right.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was Brent Ross on the line with us. To me, that was big.
Yep, that was big. Brent was saying all the right things, and I think he really means exactly what he's saying. No, it's good to be back in Hagerstown, at least from our standpoint.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a great facility. They have, that people will show up there.
Yes.
It's the atmosphere is great.
And it would not surprise me if we don't see a couple sellouts.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that sectional. A couple sellouts would not surprise me at all.
Well, you got 4 teams that are playing on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then another 4 teams on Friday. I wouldn't be surprised if they were all sellout. And then even the championship game, you'll see players from other schools will come and watch that sectional. So. It's been good, Jerry. This has been great. It's been a lot of fun, and I just want to say this is fun for us too. We enjoy this.
Well, we've had a good time this year, and it's we got one more home game to go. I won't be at that game. I've got the game at in Warsaw. I got Canada is playing one of the U.S. teams up there, so I'm working that game.
So you're working on foreign relations.
I'm working on foreign relations. After I'm done, it could be in trouble.
Well, I'll see you at some point here. We'll chat.
But we'll be ready to, for next week, broadcasting some games. And, man.
We got to thank the Coalfields, Aaron and Misty, for allowing us to come here and use their house. And they've been more than gracious. And also thank Coach Ross for being available. And you know what? On to sectionals. One more week of games, and on to sectionals.
Well, Rick, it's been fun. And for Rick Fletcher, I'm Jerry Middleton. And also for 2 Really Old Guy Productions, it's been another good night.